I was lucky enough to not only shoot a movie during this time, but shoot it with my husband.
Actress Sasha Clemens and her husband, fellow actor Corbin Bleu, finished filming a holiday movie in Barrie just before the new year. It was a shoot like none she's ever experienced before.
We were getting tested every other day, the up the nose to the brain swab. And then we were also, anytime we got onto set, we had our temperature checked. Unless we were shooting, we were wearing a mask. So as soon as they said action, we took the mask off. They took it, put it in our separate bag. As soon as they said cut, it was back in our face. We had to put it back on. There really was zero tolerance for walking around without a mask, even having your nose showing. So it was incredibly safe, because if one person gets it, the entire production gets shut down.
Good? You okay? I know, it's not. You're a trooper.
Clemens is a Toronto native who now lives in LA with her husband. On top of these strict protocols followed on set, she couldn't even start shooting until after completing a 14-day quarantine, during which she says she'd get calls from government staff to check in.
The quarantine was mandatory for everyone that came, even like our director, our producer. We were all quarantined on the same floor of the hotel, but we couldn't see each other.
Since then, Ontario's COVID-19 restrictions have tightened further. The province's stay-at-home order went into effect just over a week ago. But even under these stricter measures, cameras are still permitted to roll on film and television productions. There are currently 26 active productions in Ontario, the majority of which are in Toronto. Shows like The Handmaid's Tale, The Boys, and Lock and Key, which all air on streaming services.
Every indication I have is that the requirements that are in place here to protect the safety of the film workers and others is as rigorous as anywhere else in North America, and that what you've had is almost no cases. I think it's literally virtually zero cases coming out of that industry.
Among the provincial guidelines for film and television productions, no more than 10 performers are allowed on set at a time. Physical distancing must be maintained unless close contact is necessary for filming. All hair and makeup stylists must wear PPE. And in the case of singers or players of brass or wind instruments, there must be plexiglass separating them while playing.
So I'm very grateful for all of them for pulling together. And
Heritage Minister Lisa MacLeod says there have been no outbreaks on film sets in Ontario, likening the safety protocols and best practices to that of sports teams like the NHL and NFL.
we recognize as a government that streaming has gone up, content on all streaming platforms has gone up immeasurably, I believe over 50% since March. And so creating content is also something we consider.
During this time when we're stuck at home and we literally cannot escape, what becomes our escape? Movies, television. It allows us to have that human connection that we're missing at this time.
For City News, I'm Erica Natividad.